Welcome to JK Games, the game podcast where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
And maybe some that we don't.
Whether you play on easy mode,
or you like a good challenge.
This is a show where we'll try to level up your gaming knowledge. Knowledge.
Let's go. I have so many things I'm excited to talk about today, Jerica, and I know you do too. We've tried to reserve some of our thoughts to share with each other until this podcast because Jerica just got back from her little vacay. Did you have a good time?
I went to Palm Springs, baby.
Yeah.
Palm Springs, California. I decided to go to the desert in the middle of August. Not the smartest idea. It was hot, but it was really cool. Mm-hmm. Not temperature-wise, it was hot, but the place was cool.
It was very fun.
Yes, I had a great time. The Airbnb we stayed at had a pool.
Nice.
And even a hot tub, but we didn't turn on the heat.
I imagine.
We didn't need it. It was already hot. The water was warm. But I did enjoy the, I guess the jets that shoot out. Like, I was able to put it on my lower back. Felt incredible. Mm-hmm. I also flipped around and let it, I don't know, I said squirt on my feet, but that doesn't sound right. But the pressure washed my feet. In the hot tub, essentially. And it felt incredible. I love a foot massage. Have you ever had a foot massage, Kayla?
I do, but I'm extremely ticklish, especially on my feet. And so it usually makes me uncomfy.
I'm not. I know a lot of people that have in the past that have said they've had ticklish feet. And I'm like, what?
That's me. And I can't do it.
I love it. You could tickle my foot, rub it, push on it, whatever you want to do, and I'll enjoy it. So, all right. Sorry about that. If
this is the first you're hearing from us, my name is Kayla. I am one of your hosts. Welcome to this chaotic energy that we are bringing to the table today. I just had a cup of coffee. It is almost 9 p.m.
Yeah. That's the best time to drink coffee, you know? And I promise whoever's tuning in, listeners or watchers, we don't normally just talk about feet here.
Or maybe we do.
Hey, if we get a lot more people in here listening and watching, maybe, we talk more about feet. But normally we talk about video games, and I'm Jerica, the other host. Forgot to lead with that.
That's okay. Hey, JK Games, Jerica, Kayla, get it? That's where we formed.
Just kidding. Yeah,
So today, what is on the docket is we have a lot to discuss. So we're, if this is your first time listening, we lay out our episodes in our easy mode. Jerica's headbanging over here.
Yeah.
We got easy mode where we talk about, it looks good. Where we talk about what we've been playing, what we've been watching. We're going to talk about some exciting TV stuff coming up. What we've been playing, random little bits. And then we go into our normal mode where we have our news. We got a couple things to talk about today. Got some Fortnite Destiny stuff going on, allegedly. Got some PSVR 2 that just got announced. Some more specific things.
We got some breadcrumbs, apparently. Someone's got some information about it.
I saw PlayStation UK tweeted something.
Okay, cool. I missed that. I thought someone else maybe tweeted about it. I was like, someone's got an inside source.
We'll go over it just to make sure.
Okay, I got ahead of the game there. I got excited.
I don't want to make any promises before I know for sure, but that's who I saw the tweet from. And then we have our expert mode where we're going to talk about some of the most anticipated releases in my year. August, we had Culty Lambs just came out. Me and Jerica both got to play that one. And then also 2 Point Campus came out, which I have gotten to play, and I streamed some the other day. But I want to go into a little bit more detail on my thoughts on that. And that is really it for today. We have Last of Us to talk about, which is super exciting. Speaking of, we talked a lot about Last of Us on our podcast. Teaser for later. Really quick, let's just do our loadout.
Okay.
So our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Twitch are all JK Games Podcast. You should follow us on all of those. You get notified when we're going live. You can see our faces. You can look us up on YouTube, which is just JK Games Podcast. Or JK Games? I can't remember exactly. I'm sorry. But it's linked in our Instagram if you want the direct link. We put the video version of our podcast on there, and Jerica has some cool B-roll for today's podcast. If you wanted to see the version where you can see that, you can check
pulled it
that
straight
out
from YouTube.
Nice. You can see it all put together on YouTube if you would like.
Yes.
But yeah, you can check us out there. And if you have any questions, if you have any episode suggestions, if you would like to be on the podcast, you can always email us, jkgamespodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. We always appreciate that. We already got people in the chat. Say hey to Super Cooper, who called us out for our little glitch in the beginning. Glitch Girls throwback.
Hey.
Katronica said she's enjoying 2 Point Campus, which so am I. Can't wait to talk about that. And let's go ahead and get into it. We can just go straight into our easy mode. Jerica, aside from, I know you've been on vacation, but have you played anything else other than Cult of the Lamb lately?
I actually, of course, you can probably guess it. I've been playing Destiny.
Yes.
But really excited.
You did
for
some
next,
cool things.
Okay, yeah. So I'm doing something different in Destiny, and I'm so excited for tomorrow. Obviously, when the show comes out, Tuesday of this week. Not when the show comes out, but tomorrow, Tuesday, there is a Destiny showcase. And I'm really excited to see, because we're probably going to get a glimpse into the next expansion. And also they're supposed to announce the next little raid that's being added. It's a previous raid, but it's getting added back into the game that's been sort of shelved for a while, but it's back. And then the new season starts. So I'm really excited about that. But ultimately, I'm just trying to get some last minute quests done. Essentially before the reset, which happens tomorrow on Tuesday, and the next season starts, which I have to get some stuff done before that starts. It's just part of it, because I want to play the new stuff.
Don't you have to get your power level up or something like that?
It's already up. I got it where I need it to be. But it does get reset a little bit when a new season comes out. So while I'm super powerful, I am taking advantage of that and attempting to solo some of the dungeons, which are different from raids. They're similar to raids, but dungeons you only need 3 people to do versus a raid where you need 6 people at least. Well, the dungeons are sort of like small versions of raids. So they are usually like half the length, but still the challenges are very similar to a raid, because each section is going to be like a puzzle or a difficult boss or something you're going to have to do. Normally done with 3 people. But I can say this, I have officially soloed my first dungeon in Destiny. Yeah. I did the Prophecy dungeon, which is one of my favorite experiences in Destiny. I'll have to share some video, because I did record. Like on PlayStation, you can go back and record like the last 60 minutes. So I actually did that.
Oh, nice.
Last night with some of it, because I attempted again, because I soloed it. So I completed the raid. I completed the dungeon by myself. You're supposed to have 3 people. I did it solo.
Nice.
And the next step, because I got this really cool ghost for doing it.
I saw that.
Ghost shells. Yeah, it's a little bunny, has ears and whiskers, really cute. So you get that for soloing the dungeon. But you get an extra bit of flair if you can solo the dungeon without dying. Ooh. So I can tell you, the first attempt, for me going through it, I probably died over 20 times, like 20 to 30 times. But it was really because it's the first time I've done that dungeon in a while. And it was my first time doing it, obviously solo. So I'm trying to learn how I can do it. Last night, I reattempted I was just like, I spent a lot of time dying and doing that the other day. I wonder how far I could get without dying. So funny enough, I did it once. The first boss encounters actually was the hardest for me. It's the first and the last boss is the hardest encounters for me. And that first boss just has an ability. If you get too close to him, you're trying to collect these motes to deposit. You have to deposit so many without dying. And there's just tons of enemies trying to kill you. But the big guy in the middle, if he gets too close to you, and he's fast, he'll sneak up on you. He just knocks you off the map and you die. And that was happening a lot. But I figured out a strategy last night, and I died once, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try that again. He knocked me off the map. That's why I'm like, God, this is ridiculous. So I can just get past this part. So on my second run, I figured out a strategy using a grenade launcher that basically just puts these, like, it's called Wither Horde, that's the weapon, and it just puts these ponds of death everywhere. So all the enemies are just running into it, and like multiple enemies are dying at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm able to actually collect the motes from a distance using that weapon. So you have to kill these things to get the motes to deposit. And where I was dying, I was getting too close to those enemies, and the big guy was coming over and like saying, eating me across the map. So with Wither Horde, I'm able to take down those enemies. The motes are there, and I can just circle the whole area and just run in there and pick up motes. And I'm so fast, the guy can't knock me out.
Incredibly strategy based, it sounds like, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
I can see how three people would help with that.
Absolutely. So I figured that out in my second attempt. I got that guy. I finished the first phase, so I killed the boss. Didn't get yeeted. And just my second time, though, I did
That's
it.
Really
Once I figured that out, like, I didn't die. And I just kept going to see how far. I got all the way to the very end without dying. So, like, it's super possible. And I was so, like, that actually, I knew it didn't take me that long. And I was like, this won't hurt as bad if I die now.
Yeah.
Because I know I can get through it again. It takes me probably about 45 minutes to get to the end bit now. So when I get to the end, so it does take 45 minutes of your time, and one death you have to start over. And that's what happened last night. But I got to the very end, and it wasn't even my fault. Like, the last boss in that encounter is basically you're trying to kill, you're shooting him, but he shoots this flash at you that puts you back. Like, it's this long room, and if he gets you with it, you get pushed back. And as you're shooting him, he gets away from you. And if you get a certain distance away from him, you die. So I have to stay close. So I have to stay close to him. But if he hits you with that, it sends you back.
Yeah.
So then the distance is like doubled. So you have to like run to catch up with them. And it's really hard because there's like snipers in the map trying to kill you too.
It's a lot of mechanics.
And last night, there's a lot going on. And near the end, or in that encounter, I got close to him and I was just shooting him. I got a little closer and I peeked out way a little too early and he got me with that blast. And instead of, it usually just sends you back to the beginning, but it actually put me back into the left and there was no platform underneath me.
So you died.
I died. And I was just like, man. And that was my first attempt at the last boss. And I was like, I didn't even get to try.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this again tonight because that took 45 minutes just to get to the end bit.
I loved Audrey's tweet was like, if you want to see Jerica in her raw form, watch her solo a dungeon.
The first time I did it, like when I didn't look up any strategies. I just tried to do it on my own, but it was a struggle. Like I remember we were actually downstairs in the living room. I was playing on the big TV.
Oh, nice.
Doing it, and she was having to witness all of it. I died. And I literally like put down the controller and I flipped over on the couch and did like the toddler on the ground thing with my legs and did this on the couch. I was like, no. And she's like talking all this strategy. I'm like, babe, give me a minute. I just have to like have a moment of silence.
What's up, Play Along Pod? Thanks for joining. They said, what's up, friends? Jerica's talking about her Dungeon Destiny experience, if you're just entering the chat.
I'm attempting to try, like, I did solo a dungeon in Destiny, and now I'm trying to do a flawless run, which means, like,
I think you can
a 45-minute encounter without dying. I'm gonna do it.
I know that you would probably be, like, raging, but I would love to see you do that. I think that would be
I mean, I could try. I've just had issues streaming from the PlayStation, but
yeah.
Tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, I'm gonna attempt to. And if I think about it, I'll record it. And if it's not live, I'll put it up on YouTube.
That would be great.
I'll do it.
I would love that.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll record it at least.
I want to see it. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, did you try anything else while you were gone? I know you brought your Steam Deck with you on vacation, right? You started Culty Lambs.
I started Culty Lambs there, but ultimately I am playing it on PlayStation because I want my trophies.
Fair.
But I started it there, and I was like, this is so stupid. Culty Lambs' perfect game for Steam Deck, by the way. It's a perfect game probably for the Switch. But the game's so pretty to me, and I know it's just like illustrated little characters and whatnot. We'll talk about it later. But I wanted it on the big screen, you know? So I wanted it on the PlayStation. Yeah. So yes. Other than that, one last thing and I'll quit talking, Kayla.
That's
remember that
what we're
thing
here to do.
about, okay, that great show that I talk about occasionally that's, you know, the other thing I talk about that's not Last of Us is Arcane.
Yeah.
The League of Legends adaptation or story situation that's on Netflix. The show. Animated series. Obviously, it's been out for a while. Season 2 is coming. We just don't know when. But if you've watched it, excellent show. If you haven't watched it, Kayla, I'm looking at you.
I know.
Watch
it's on my
Kayla.
list. It's on my list. There's so much to
Gotta
watch.
watch it. There is, I guess, Riot Games. Riot Games actually put out like a docu-series basically on the making of Arcane, and it's on YouTube. And they put out an episode every Thursday. It's called Bridging the Rift, I think. And even if you haven't watched the show and you're just interested in like what went into making that show, it's such a cool series. Like the first episode sort of ended up with a cliffhanger about a documentary of how it's made. So it's like, ooh, I want to watch the next episode. They're like 30 minutes. They're super good though. And what makes it, I was telling Kayla and I was like, wait, we'll save this for the show. The making of this is really, I'm really glad they decided to do this because I've never seen anything like Arcane before, like to that extent. The illustration is like everything's handcrafted,
which is really cool.
They go into Fortiche is the studio that works with them and does all the animation and drawings and all the stuff that goes into, like, they've done music videos for them in the past. Like a lot of the League of Legends characters, they'll do music videos for. So they've done work with them before, but you get to see behind the curtain of like all these animators like hand drawing these environments. All these animators like rigging up character models, and like there's literally someone for something. Like every little detail has a professional like creating it, and it's wild. Like they have their own music team. One of the scenes they shared was there's a fight scene in the show, and it's a little kid like running with a sword, and it's like hand drawn animation mixed with the style of Arcane and like Fortiche and what they do. But it's like a different animation style. And the recording of the kid running, you learn the animator. It was actually like his son was his like reference, for the kid that's running in the show. And they actually showed the kid running with a little wooden sword.
Oh, that's
and the guy
cool.
was like, the guy got to use his son as a reference in the show, and I thought that was so sweet and so freaking cool. Like all the details in that show are insane. Like if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. You want to watch it again just so you could like see like all the facial. It's so realistic, but it's like a painting that's come to life. That's why it's so cool. Everything's drawn. I can't gush enough about it.
It's on Netflix, right?
I'm a gusher for it, just oozing out.
It's Netflix?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It's on Netflix, yep.
Okay. I've got to add it to my list already.
The documentary series is on YouTube. Like, Riot Games shares that on their YouTube channel. Cool. So, watch Arcane, then watch the making of. It's just as good.
I love things that have, I love all the making of, especially, like, when they go into detail about, like, the writers and the animators and everything like that.
It's just so unique, so it was finally cool to see, like, how some of it's made, because it's insanely cool.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing the two games that we're going to talk about in our expert mode later, which are Culty Lambs and 2 Point Campus is also what I'm going to talk about. But I have also been playing a lot of Fortnite. Gonna be honest with y'all. Been playing a lot of Fortnite.
I play a lot of Destiny. You play a lot of Fortnite. It's fine.
I've shifted, but I did actually pick up Apex Legends again the other day, which used to be my like number one game of like choice, just by like want to pick up and play some games, just like turn my brain off and just focus on that. But something like Fortnite is just really scratched an itch for me lately that has been like fun to play with our friends and just like a social thing as well. But I really have liked the like drops that they do. Like right now there's Dragon Ball skins. I don't watch Dragon Ball, but Hunter, my husband, and the rest of our friends really love Dragon Ball. And there's like they don't just do like skins in this game. So they'll do like events where it will be like the map is customized to look like Dragon Ball. They have like the Kamehameha thing. I think that's how you say it. Or do you watch Dragon Ball, Jerica? Do you?
for the one time I muted myself and I didn't think you're like asking me. I was gonna pull up a quick little. Gonna see if I can find a video to showcase it. Believe it or not, like I have watched most of every episode of Dragon Ball Z except GT and probably the newest stuff. Like I've watched the original, whatever came after that, and the third thing.
This is like
I watched them all.
I think that this is based off of Dragon Ball Super, which is the most recent. I think they're trying to like promote it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think they're trying to like go into that, but the skins are cool. You can actually watch episodes of Dragon Ball Super in Fortnite. Like, you know how they do the you know how they do the concert things? Mm-hmm. It's like that, except a show. Friend of the show, Cody, tried it, and he actually thought it was really cool. It's weird to call Fortnite underrated because of how popular it is, but so many people hate on Fortnite, and it's so good. See, okay, here's my story with Fortnite. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I did not really enjoy the build mode. I play on no build mode because I feel like the barrier to entry is smaller because you don't have to learn all the logistics of like, I just feel like there's more to do with build mode and like, it's just not as fun to me personally, but it's fun because you can play with up to 4 people. And I needed a game that you can play with more people because we have a couple of people that like to play together. So I've been playing that as just like a fun thing to do with friends. And also another one I've still been playing a lot is Fall Guys, which is still really fun and it's free to play now. So that's another cool one. No build is life. Yes. Respect the no build. Oh, you've got it. Yeah, you've got it. It's so, and the thing is, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And I think it's so funny. And like, just see, like, you can walk around as Goku and have a lightsaber as your weapon. You see Goku walking around with a lightsaber? That's hilarious.
That's the beauty of Fortnite. Anything's possible, right?
Yeah. How did they get all the rights to these things? I have no idea. Got no idea. But that's what I've been playing with them. You can ride on a little Nimbus cloud. It's really fun. Yeah, they're showing that too. So that's really it for me, aside from the other things we're going to talk about later. And I'm still working on Life is Strange Remastered. I haven't been in the mood as much for like it's kind of not in the mood for more like story-based, like solely. So I'm still playing it, so it's not on my backlog. I think I'm about to be on episode 4.
Ooh,
which I've heard is
building
like,
up.
Yeah. And I might stream it again. Last time I streamed it, I got copyright strikes. So, the music is so good though. That's all for me. We can go into our little bit of news. We don't have a ton of news today, but let's segue into really quick. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, House of the Dragon just came out, which is the prequel to Game of Thrones, where it talks about the Targaryens and the kind of like, I don't know all about the lore. I'm not an expert. However, I did just start reading the book series, which is pretty cool. I finished the first one. It's a long book, but it's really good. But I really liked the first episode. It's very Game of Thrones, very world building heavy, very informational, but still just as gory and intense and exciting.
I saw someone tweet about some kind of birthing scene.
Dude,
that's what I'm ready for,
bro. It's rough.
I haven't watched it yet, so
it's rough out here. So only one episode is out on HBO Max, but Jerica, leading up to this episode, they gave us a little tease.
Oh, are we ready to go to? I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up here.
Let's
so we can talk about why it's played. By the way, we're about to talk about the little teaser of the Last of Us TV show that's coming to HBO.
Yeah,
we got our first glimpse, like actual, like not just pictures, video form, and we got to hear Pedro and Bella as Joel and Ellie for the first time.
Yes,
which is super exciting.
Finally,
so I'm actually gonna pull that up right now, but you got to see it, right? So you watched it all in its like 20 seconds.
It was like 40 seconds, probably 20 seconds. It was minus the little HBO thing. At first, I didn't realize there was a full teaser, which I say full, it's not that long, but I just saw your tweet where he was like, you don't know loss or something.
Yeah.
I thought that was it, but then I saw the full teaser, which you're playing it now, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I was blown away. I am shooketh. Maybe we should let it play.
Well, it's already over because it's
Okay.
so short.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how to like replay a video on YouTube. It should be right in front of me, but I don't see it. Let's see. Playback. No, that's not working. I'll just hit play one more time. Anyways, it looks really good. I love how Pedro sounds as Joel. Sounds just like Joel to me. Probably not as like country maybe, but I know he only says one sentence, so it's really hard to like judge exactly what he's gonna sound like. But it was really cool to hear Bella as Ellie because she normally has like a British accent. She's obviously from across the pond. And what was her role in Game of Thrones? I know she played like one of the queens of one of the North.
Mormont.
Yeah.
Her last name is Mormont.
Anyways, so she's always had her, like, even in interviews, she's has her British accent. So I was eager to see like how she would, if Ellie was gonna have a British accent, I was gonna be fine with it. I didn't care. But regardless, she sounds pretty good as Ellie. I'm excited.
Yeah, we got a couple people in the chat. Play Along Pod said, talking about people hating games, so much Last of Us hate going around. I couldn't be more excited. I haven't seen much hate. Have you, Jerica?
Kayla, there's so much hate for The Last of Us everywhere all the time.
I guess I just don't see that as much. I don't know.
It were, literally, I feel like, I guess, I assume from like the first game,
you probably know.
The first game, there's just so much love, right? And we've played the second game. Naughty Dog just has I know it hurts to hear the negativity around The Last of Us. I don't work for Naughty Dog, but I tried to imagine if I did create this, it would be not that fun. Like always, people hating on it, but it also usually gets spoiled. Things get spoiled and leaked from them. Like, literally, I guess when they were about to announce the remake of the first game, like, that leaked. And even Neil Druckmann got on stage. That was for, like, what was the Summer Games Fest, Jeff Keighley's thing. And he was like, and of course, I forgot what he said, along the lines of, like, it leaked.
Yeah.
Are we surprised? No. So, but they do get a lot of hate around Last of Us.
Hey, it's okay to have opinions. It's okay to have wrong opinions. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so a couple other things in the chat. So Noelle Taco Bell, hello, welcome back. She said that it's been a while since she's been able to join, but she's back. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. We got some fire in the chat. We got Gaming Together Pod said play along is calling me out. That is so funny. But yeah, so speaking of that, for those who are interested, me and Jerica have been spitballing. We have
an announcement.
Yeah, we've been spitballing some ideas around. We don't have exact, what this is going to look like for us yet, but the idea is when the show does come out, Last of Us show on HBO Max, me and Jerica are going to start a separate podcast that is recapping each episode each week.
Yes.
We are very excited.
For both of us, and if we're all gamers here. Hey gamers, we've played The Last of Us, so I think it'd be really cool to have a show where we sort of dissect this adaptation and obviously compare to the game, and then also like talk about the differences and highlight the things that we know are gonna be in the show, like story bits and details that we've never seen before that we'll get in the show, and just sort of like do predictions and expectations and how the show is. We should like rate each episode. I don't know. Like we should have a scale of 1 switchblade to 5 switchblades. I don't know. We'll come up with something. Also still thinking of a good title for this show.
Yeah, if you have any ideas, let us know. But so don't worry though, this podcast isn't going anywhere. We're still gonna have JK Games podcast. Well, you may have like slightly more time in between our episodes, but we're not going anywhere, so don't worry about that. It's gonna be extra content for you guys. So, and I'm excited. Me and Jerica talked about this. I'm excited for people who may not be gamers to get like a chance to see this story, because the story itself is what is like so good. And we have
one of my friends actually sent me a text as I'd shared the trailer. I'm like, ooh, so excited. And they were like, I'm so ready to learn about The Last of Us. I told you I just needed it in this kind of format to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah,
because they don't play games, and they're like, "What? I want to know more about this." I'm like, "This is it. This is perfect." Like, imagine the whole world talking about The Last of Us outside of the gamer community, which could be super negative. Like, get out to the world, the rest of the world, which also could be super negative. But I don't know. It's about to become a big thing.
Yeah, and some people who may not enjoy the video game, like maybe have some complaints. Maybe you'll like the show. Who knows? Gaming Together had a cool one, and yeah, that's true. Haters gonna hate, Gaming Together said recaps of us. That's
perfect.
Cute.
We'll give. I actually love that. We can give you all the credit. That is legit. Like, if we want to do a collab and talk about the episodes, that's fine. Like, recaps of us is actually really good.
That's really good. All right. Well, so stay tuned for that. Obviously, we don't know when the show is going to come out yet. I think that there's like rumor mill or like discussions around it being the beginning of next year, potentially. But Jerica also had a good point that they probably will release that, or maybe release a full trailer on Last of Us Day, which is next month, right?
Yep. I think it's September 23rd or the 26th. For some reason, it's one of those two dates.
Cool.
So,
well, all right. That kind of segues us into, that was kind of a piece of our news that we had today. But other than that, back to some topics that we've been discussing already in our news, our normal mode. Fortnite and Destiny crossover, Jerica? A combination of both of the things we have spent a lot of time on.
They're intersecting and hugging and kissing now. So
wow.
That sort of is it's been leaked sort of head of the game here. No pun intended. I'm sure that's something they're going to announce tomorrow during the Destiny showcase, which I think airs tomorrow at 11 o'clock, right before the reset and the new season starts. Which is cool that they do that. Like, the new content obviously has got something tied to this announcement that they literally have to do the announcement early.
Yeah.
Because the reset's at 12. Like, you can hop on and play again at 12 o'clock. So it basically happens when the game's down. It's pretty cool.
Which makes sense. It times out,
So I'm sure the Fortnite announcement's going to be during that time.
It's interesting.
I don't know. I'm sure, like, I guess the art that's out there that shows, like, the Guardians, I think that's what's going to be in Fortnite, maybe?
Yeah, surely. Like, it's going to be something like that.
It's got the Fortnite style to it, but it is Destiny.
It looks cool.
I'm interested to see what they put back into Destiny from Fortnite, because I'm sure there's a crossover there too. I would love the obviously the most iconic thing to me in Fortnite, other than Travis Scott doing like a concert in there and Spider-Man. I'm trying to think of things I think of when I think Fortnite. Is Travis Scott,
the emotes, the dances.
Spider-Man, and last but not least, is it like the orange dance, like the kid submitted the video, right? It was like, it's all based on this kid's weird dance. That default dance is like one of my favorite dances of all time. So I hope they put that in Destiny. I want that emote in Destiny.
That would be funny. Basically that's pretty much it from like the leak, but there was an article on Polygon if you want to read it. Fortnite Destiny crossover leaks ahead of Destiny 2 showcase. So obviously not confirmed yet, but seems likely based on the pictures that released. So cool. Another exciting thing, hot off the press, Jerica, tonight got tweeted. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but this is on Twitter. And I did confirm it is from PlayStation UK's official Twitter. So coming early 2023, PlayStation VR 2. And it shows a picture. Have we seen a picture of the headset yet?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, gotcha. Because they posted the picture. And then they also... I just looked underneath the tweet. It said, "Is that also when PS5 will be available?"
What'd you say? It muted out a little bit. What'd you say?
Maybe I got too excited. It was too loud, so it muted me. It was really funny. There's a tweet right underneath the announcement, and it says, "Is that when the PS5 will also be available?"
Please.
That's funny. Somebody else said, so Gaming Together pod, They said I always think of picking up a downed enemy and throwing them into a dumpster and dropping a grenade in there. Late from Lunch said, can't wait for the Zavala with Among Us backpack.
It's gonna happen one day. Like I could just see Zavala. Like he's one of the Titans that's been in the story for a while. I could just see him like in the tower. He's like the grandkid or the dad figure that just like don't want to play with the kids, and Fortnite's just like Fortnite Among Us stuff is just like towering above him, and he's just like, why is this in my world? Please get it out of here.
That's all we have for news. Not a lot of news right now. Now next week is gonna be news heavy. We got Gamescom. What else? The Destiny Showcase.
Destiny Showcase is tomorrow, Tuesday. Gamescom. So looking forward to
When is Gamescom?
It's tomorrow night, I think, or tomorrow at some point in the afternoon-ish, evening time. I won't be able to watch it live, including the Destiny Showcase. Also won't be able to watch it live. Literally telling Audrey not to watch it until we can get home together and watch it. And I'm going to stay off Twitter. So
you're going to have to, because it'll probably be spoiled. All right. Well, let's move into our expert mode, Jerica. We got lots of game stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We've been playing a couple of new games here.
Yeah. First,
which one do you talk about first?
Well, I'll talk about 2 Point Campus first, since I played it and I don't have as much to say. Well, I have some things to say about it. We'll start with that one then. So you had some B-roll for 2 Point, didn't you, Jerica?
Of course I did.
Of course. Also, shout out to Jerica for the new little B-roll scene inspired by 2 Point Campus. Oh my gosh, inspired by
advertisement.
Inspired by Spotlight Games, which was our last episode. We were on their podcast. That was a fun one. You can check it out on your podcast platforms or on their podcast if you would like. We have it like. The scene is cool. We got the B-roll and us just nerding out over that. But okay, let's talk about 2 Point Campus. Okay, so this game is exactly what I did not know I needed in my life right now. It is a management simulator game where you are essentially a superintendent or like a campus manager. I don't know the exact word for what you are, but you're overseeing this campus, and now each thing is themed. So like you're thrown into the story. There's also a sandbox mode that you unlock after, I believe, the first like objective. But there are objectives. There is a story. And so you start out and you are at like a science type college. So it's a college. Each one is kind of themed to a certain degree. So like the science one is first. There's a culinary one. I think there's even like a witchcraft one, which I haven't gotten to yet, which I'm interested in that for sure. And it's very customizable. So you have a purpose, you have a goal. Your goal is to make money and to keep your students passing their classes, to keep them happy. You got to feed them. You got to make sure they have like adequate like restrooms. Like it goes really into depth. If you like Sims, this is a really good game, and it's goofy as heck. They are so goofy. The art is goofy. The like way they walk is even goofy. The names, that sort of thing. And it goes super into depth. You can see like you can click on each individual student. So it's kind of like similar to like Sims and like Zoo Tycoon, that sort of thing. You can speed up the world or you can slow it down. You can pause it to just build stuff. It's very like intricate. You can go into different details or you can kind of just watch it happen. The goal is like you create these classrooms, you hire staff. You are trying to help these students make good grades. You can get them tutors, all sorts of things. And you can customize each thing. Like you can get different wallpapers, that sort of thing. Really fun, really good. Just like if you're into sim games like I am. I have an idea for a future episode where I'm going to try a bunch of new sim games. I asked on Twitter for you guys to recommend me some, because it's one of my favorite things to play. You can just lose like hours doing this. Like
Late from Lunch actually says you inspired my brother to start playing this game. He's been no lifing it for like 3 days. Also Late from Lunch says they're surprisingly quaint and cozy.
It is. I would definitely say this is like a cozy type game because like the music is really good. It's actually hilarious. They have like a 2 point like campus radio. And so it's like, well, you're watching the game and you're listening and there's like soft music playing and then there's like an announcer like that's like the like making speeches and stuff and like announcing stuff that's going on. And you can even have like clubs, you can host like events, you can like romance people. It's like super in depth. You can look at each student's like stuff they like. The students can make a request from you, which is really funny. They can like ask for certain things and you can like grant it or not grant it. But I streamed it the other day. I'm definitely going to stream it again because it was fun to get everyone's suggestions of like stuff I should do. You can help like customize their dorm area, all kinds of stuff. So Play Along Pods had always kind of been interested in these 2 point games, which thank you for bringing that up because they do have another game. It's called 2 Point Hospital. Same concept, but with a hospital. It's also on PC and Xbox Game Pass for free if you have that already. So if you want to try it out, definitely do because I really, really like it. You can spend a lot of time. They have a free roam mode or you can do like the objective based one. So I spent a couple hours in it already and it's definitely something I can get lost in. So highly recommend if that's your type of game. We can talk about Culty Lambs.
Well, I can tell you if you're digging this game, you're also probably gonna love Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, I think
Let
so.
me get that queued up.
Yeah.
Gosh, I started playing Cult of the Lamb, like I said earlier, on the Steam Deck because I went to California and I got to get on a plane. It's been years, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit on this plane and play some games. And I actually booted up Cult of the Lamb, and immediately was just like, this game's so much fun. I don't want to experience it just like this. Like, I want to experience all of it at home in my gamer chair, just super cozy with on the big screen. So I didn't play any more of it on the Switch, unfortunately. I decided to wait till I got home to start playing it. And obviously, I'm sold because I don't know about you, Kayla, but when I started playing the game, and when you get sort of further into at least like where you're gonna have followers join, I was like, this is everything I love about Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Mixed with some of my favorite games like Hades. You got your roguelike sort of dungeon crawler, get as far as you can, see what you can tackle or go back to your cult and, get back to your making your cult happy.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously there's a lot going on with this game.
There
Kayla,
is.
how far have you gotten?
I'm trying to think of how many hours I might have put into this. Maybe like 5 hours.
Okay.
Ish.
I feel like I've at least played 7 to 10.
Okay.
Definitely a hard one to put down.
Yeah.
Like it gets addicting really fast.
I've played it in times where I had to I had a stopping point I had to stop at because I had to go do something. I'm really looking forward to some days I have coming up where I can spend like a lot of dedicated time. But I'm curious to see what you spend the most time doing. Yeah. I spent a lot of time customizing my place.
So little blanket statement just to sort of like tie it in together. Like what is Cult of the Lamb? Yeah. Okay. Obviously it's in the title. You're a cute little lamb that has decided to make a deal with this demon when you die to say,
basically
hey,
the devil.
The devil, I guess. And you're like, sure, I will sell my soul to you and I'll worship you if you bring me back to life and I get more people to worship you, aka get the cult going, basically. So you're resurrected, this cute little lamb's resurrected, and it goes on a mission to recruit other woodland creatures to this cult, and you get these other woodland creatures to also sacrifice their soul to this god. Mm-hmm. And you're basically preaching to these little animals.
Yeah.
Like you have little sermons and stuff, and
there's like doctrines.
Like literally when you get back into the area where you because I like to think of Animal Crossing, like you have your island. In Cult of the Lamb, you get obviously there's levels that you get to fight enemies, But you get to an area where it's going to be like your home base, and that is the place you set up shop and start recruiting followers to your cult.
You can farm.
You can farm. You can set up a farm.
You cook.
You cook, set up church, and do sermons and rituals. Like Kayla was saying, I just recently set up a missionary situation where I can send. I try to send young able followers out to get meat, berries, money.
Yeah, you can assign them tasks. Yeah, you can name them.
Name them. Every time, like you go out on an adventure, I guess, because you're gonna need a lot of stuff for your cult. Whether it's like Kayla said, you cook, they gotta eat. They start getting hungry, so you have to go and go out and fight enemies and get berries. Wood to make buildings, everything that obviously there's a system in place where you have to have materials and resources. It takes time. It's not super easy to get all this stuff. Those little animals stay hungry, so I'm always having to feed them. And I don't know about you, Kayla. How much poop have you seen?
A good bit of poop and vomit, which is interesting. You can use it as fertilizer, which is nice.
You can.
But if it gets too dirty, they will get sick. And they'll die. They can die. They can leave. They can get sacrificed. All kinds of stuff.
I've had something also happen, Kayla. If you're not careful, if you're not making one of them happy, if one of them starts getting a little upset about the situations you got in your cult, they start spewing hate and they keep saying, start spreading lies. Okay, fake news.
Fake news in the cult.
Wow. And I've had 2 followers start this mess.
A rival cult?
No, within my own cult, I have a follower. They get these crazy eyes. They look all mad and they start saying, Jerica doesn't know what she's doing. This cult is lame. And then all the other followers are listening, and I'm like, one bad apple, man. So I had to build a jail. I had to build a jail so I could put these these people are going against the word of the Lamb. Okay, I had to put them in jail, and every day you have to go to them. They're like in one of those. I don't know the formal name for the wooden thing you put your head in, and your you put head in and your
guillotine.
Arms.
That's not right.
It's close. It's the ancient
gallows
thing. Yeah,
gallows?
I'm sure. I think y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You put them in one of those, and every day I go over there and I read from my book of demons, I guess, and I re-educate them. It's called re-educating, and you have to re-educate them in believing the right religion here, which is the Lamb's god.
Also,
demon thing.
If you're intimidated by this because it seems like scary, it's not scary. Like it's
so
adorable.
Funny.
It's funny.
It's hilarious. Literally, one of my close friends, also a friend of the show, Laura. We were texting, and she's like, "How you liking Cult of the Lamb?" Because I'd sent her a picture where one of my followers requested to. Weird requests come out, and I had a follower request to eat poop. It came up to me and it was like, please, I would love to eat poop. Would you serve me poop? And I'm like, yeah, easy. We got tons around here. All y'all are pooping everywhere. So I prepared some poop for it. And then it decided that it loved it so much, and it was so glad I did it. It was like, hey, you can kill me. You can sacrifice me. For the cult, because the cult gets levels up when you sacrifice villagers. So I was like, cool, all right. But my friend was texting me. I had sent her a screenshot of the villager wanting to eat poop, and she's like, that sounds great. It looks like you're a good cult leader. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. This is I agree. I've married a follower. I'm thinking about marrying a couple more. Ooh. I just brainwashed them. I acquired some mushrooms that allows me to brainwash these little critters so they do what I want them to do throughout the day. And I've watched a lot of cult documentaries. So
I have too.
I think I'm trying to marry as many followers as I can, and I'm brainwashing them. So great cult leader here. I think I'm doing a great job.
But so we have a couple people in the chat. So Noel Taco Bell said the art style for this game is dope. Yeah, it's really unique. If you've played, there's a game that I really enjoy on the Switch called Cozy Grove. It kind of looks like Cozy Grove. Soundtrack is also phenomenal. It is so relaxing, in my opinion. Like, I love it. It is very good. Apparently, the word we were looking for is pillory. That's the little thing.
Yes. I put them in the pillory and re-educate them. Yes.
I forgot to mention I'm playing mine on PC. I'm playing mine on Steam.
Oh, there's a stupid ad. They're getting free ad space. There we go.
Wow. I forgot to mention, so mine is on Steam and I'm playing it. And let's talk about this really quick. Let's talk about gameplay and mechanics really quick and see have you had any issues, Jerica? I know our friends of the show, Spotlight Games, have had some problems. Have you had any?
I've had a couple of loading issues. The game is a little buggy. Not for the majority of the time when you're playing, I haven't had like anything happen. But when I'm like going into another area, I've had the game freeze up. Like it's having a hard time like loading into different levels in areas. If you'll open up the map and you actually can go to different locations other than your home base, which is pretty cool. And I've had issues like I'd load in, go to the map and click on the other location and it just times out and it freezes up. I've only had that happen like 2 or 3 times. One point I was in the I went through like the dungeon crawling aspect where I go out and attack things and bring back goods. I had one part where I went to the next room. I went to the next room and I could hear the game and I could hear my character like attack, like my buttons were reacting, but the whole screen was black. So I couldn't see. So I had to turn it off and like restart. So there are some issues, but it's not like game breaking. Like I'm still not able to put it down. So.
Yeah, and you're playing on PlayStation, you said, right?
Yes.
I've heard a lot of the people that are having issues are having a lot of issues on Switch. Our friend of the show, Patrick, said he was having some issues like with like serious gameplay problems. So I wonder if they're surely they're gonna push out like a patch or something. Yeah. They were having some issues with like abilities not working properly. Which that's the other thing is you gain like new abilities, you get different weapons, like that sort of thing. Really addicting. I'm really enjoying it. But I haven't had any problems either on PC. So I really like how simple the like attack, like I feel like it's pretty straightforward, like the combat. And it's very like attainable. What level are you playing on? I think you can change the difficulty levels.
It's whatever is just above like normal. I forget. Like I kicked it up a notch and it kicks back. It punches back pretty hard.
Yeah.
I will say because I love roguelike games. Didn't realize it was going to be a thing. Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be something I get. It always sounded like horrendous. Like, ew, that sounds horrible. I don't want to play a game like that. But I do love like literally. I will think back to Inscription, also a card game that sort of plays in a similar way. You just see how far you can get. Like that is really addicting to me, and every run is going to be different.
Yeah. It's kind of like a gamble.
It is. It's almost like gambling. Like, do you go back with the materials you found, all the gold you've collected to help your cult, or do you push ahead and get even more rewards?
Yeah.
And that's I can tell you like. I mean, even thinking about the Stardew Valley, like you going into the cave system, it's like the same thing. And what makes Stardew Valley so fun to me is that you have both aspects of 2 game types that I love, like simulators, thinking back towards like The Sims and Animal Crossing. I know they're sort of different, but you get what I'm saying, like farming sims, like relaxing, addicting little gameplay loops. But Culty Lambs combines them in a really cool way that if you're tired of doing one part, it's almost like 2 games in one. If you're tired of like doing the dungeon crawling, you can go back and like Kayla was saying, like build up your cult and read the minds of your followers and give them gifts, and they'll even give you quests. Like the guy that wanted to eat poop, that was a quest. He requested me, do you accept this quest to figure out a way to feed me poop? And I said, absolutely. I'm gonna figure out a way to feed you poop. So
that's awesome.
And obviously it's silly.
Yeah.
You get to read, you could read the minds of your followers, and they have comments like, "Oh, I enjoyed this morning's sermon from our glorious leader," or "I had a conversation that was boring with this other follower. I hate them." Like it's just hearing their thoughts and what they're saying about each other is like, I don't know if you ever got on the Nextdoor app and just listening to your neighbors talk about things. That's your followers in this game. It's funny.
There is also an end, technically, correct? Like there's a goal that it's like a story end, I believe.
Yeah, well, you're ultimately trying to unshackle this demon that has brought you back to life. That's the reason it's brought you back to life, so you can
free it,
because there's 4 heretics. Like they're the big bosses of the game. There's 4 doors, 4 areas, and in each area you're gonna go down and take the heretic out. I've taken down 2. I've gotten them like halfway through that process, but I've gotten to where like I guess I'm actually just replaying different rooms to get resources so I can build up the cult. So, finally got an outhouse so they won't poop as much on the ground. That's nice.
That's funny. But yeah, basically, like my personal review is if you like strategy, if you like roguelike, if you like sim, it combines all 3 of those things to like make a really well-rounded game, in my opinion. Like I think that every aspect of it is fun to me, and I think it has a lot of replayability and a lot of ability to like sink a good amount of time into something. So
it's addicting as hell. Like no pun intended. And literally, I was talking to someone today. I was like, I won't sacrifice your time. And I was like, I feel like I'm just saying things like sacrifice followers. Oh, holy one. Like it's just, it's so creative and so, I don't know. It's something special. And I already think now, like I want them to do a Cult of the Lamb too. I'm already wanting, like this game's already great, but there's so much more they could do with it. It's so far, it's one of the games I've had the most fun with this year.
I was going to say.
It might be my game of the year. So.
A lot of good games this year, though. We'll see. But I also, again, I know I talked about that earlier, so if you weren't in the live when we were discussing 2 Point Campus, I think it's really fun, too. It's definitely way more sim, way more, like, strategy, not as much, like, combination of the things, and it is also silly though, so they kind of remind me of each other because they're so silly. But I would also recommend that one a lot too if you like that type of game. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. All of my commentary, Jerica. Lots of fun things going on.
A lot of great games to play. Really excited for what's gonna get announced this week.
I don't really have events. Do you have any predictions?
I am. This is so weird, but like probably for this whole year, like I don't know what's next. Like we know about the big things coming from PlayStation, but it seems like every conference there's been, which I know, like I think Jeff Keighley's been in like the headrunner or host for all these events, has been very like specific with saying, hey, that these are the games we're going to talk about. And a lot of times it's not really, it's pulling back the curtain so much where they are trying not to set expectations so high, which makes me think maybe there won't be like a whole lot of surprises, but there's got to be 1 or 2 things that we get surprised with. And honestly, I don't know what those things are. I feel like we know a good bit of things that are coming out that could be surprises, right? Like we know next year is Spider-Man. Like we got God of War at the end of the year. Spider-Man, like I'm just thinking like PlayStation first, like Spider-Man, then
Marvel Midnight Suns.
Yep.
Gotham Knights is coming out in October. Ooh, yeah, soon. I forgot about
that. What else is like, I'm sure at some point we'll see Wolverine. I don't think I'm trying to think of all the games I'm looking forward to that's been announced that are probably Hellblade. Maybe see more of that at some point. I'm hoping that's getting close to a release date, you know, hopefully next year. Massive Star Wars game, maybe. That's a good prediction. I don't know, like, where is my head at? Like, I'm really having, that was a good one, Late for Lunch. I sort of forgot about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm sort of like, we know, but we don't know. We haven't like seen.
I just
yet.
scrolled through their Twitter really quick. I didn't really see anything, so we'll definitely report back though after the show.
I thought Jeff Keighley actually. I saw a tweet where he has like. Oh, I think Audrey actually sent it to me. Hold on, I'll pull it up real quick. Like the things that are gonna be there. Okay, here we go. Gamescom opening night live this Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. So that's what time it goes live. Join Jeff Keighley for a 2-hour live showcase of what's next in video games. World premiere new looks at Sonic Frontiers, Hogwarts Legacy, the Callisto Protocol. Keep forgetting about that one. I am really excited about that. That's supposed to be great. That's going to be great.
Noel Taco Bell also said Dead Space remake, hopefully.
Heck yeah. That's wasn't that January?
Xbox? Oh.
No, I think they like have didn't the release date? Why am I thinking January? Is that too soon or am I stroking out here? I feel like they announced January for that game.
I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know. In the chat if you know. I feel like that's closer than what we think. High on Life, Return to Monkey Island, Lives of P, Outlast Trials. I forgot about the next Outlast game.
I'm excited
Gotham
about
Knights. Don't really need to see much more of that.
No,
but it's cool. We've seen it. Goat Simulator 3, more goats and sheep. I didn't know Telltale's making a series based on The Expanse, which I still need to watch. I hear if I love Mass Effect, I'll love The Expanse. So.
Oh, a couple things. Late from Lunch said, do we know if PlayStation will be there?
Huh?
Do we know if PlayStation will be at Gamescom?
I don't know. I mean, I would obviously love to see Kojima pull up there. Death Stranding 2. We know he's working on something. Or Silent Hill.
Yeah.
You know? We know he's working on it.
Noel Taco Bell said, yes, they said January, but I'm pretty sure it'll be delayed. Boo. Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed too good to be true, so.
Yeah. Well, all right. We can only speculate. We'll see soon, and we'll talk about it for sure. But, Jerica, do you have any closing statements? Culty Lambs is good.
Oh, I'm seeing here, like, The Expanse is so good. I need to watch it. I know, I keep hearing about it.
I've heard it's really good too. It's sci-fi.
I gotta sit down and actually because I feel like there's multiple seasons. There's books involved. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I've been reading.
Oh yeah,
I'm on a book, Kayla. When I was on vacation, I decided to take a couple books with me to read while I was floating around in the pool. It's like that's the time I read the most, and I just haven't been able to get into a pool in a while.
Yeah,
and I suck at. I have a horrible memory. The title's very long, but it's a sci-fi novel.
Oh, is it the one that's based off of something with a sheep? No, not a sheep. I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
No, but I'm interested in that. Like, if it's space and there's sheep, I definitely want to read about that.
I'll have to think of something. I think it's what Star Trek is based off of, or something like that. Something it's based off of.
The book I'm reading is one of 4 books in the series already. The first one, that's what I'm reading, is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers.
Ooh,
I read things based on things I like, and a lot of Mass Effect fans are like, you should read this book. And I'm having such a good time reading it. I'm going through it pretty fast, but so far it's if you love banter between cool space aliens and other humans that are on a voyage together, you'll enjoy this book. The characters are written really well. I think that's why I'm getting into it as it's easy for me to get into it, because the characters are so likable and interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you found something you like. Speaking of books, really quick before we close out, Sam Maggs just announced a new book. Sam Maggs is someone that we're both a fan of here. She announced a new book, Star Wars Jedi Battle Scars, I believe is what it's called. And it is a continuation of Cal Kestis' story from
Very cool
Jedi
stuff.
Fallen Order.
Yeah, I hope we see more of his story. Obviously, I'm really excited. It's like going to be a prequel to the next game.
Yeah, it's gonna be like an in between. So the next game is Jedi Survivor, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
And then let me read really quick her tweet. So Cal Kestis leads the Mantis crew on an adventure set between Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and the highly anticipated Jedi Survivor. Comes out March 7th, 2023. So if you like to read and you like Star Wars, highly recommend. I'm
Definitely
very
gonna pick it
excited.
up,
So
so.
excited. So
She's a great writer, so I know it's gonna be good. He will be well written, that's for sure.
yeah. Well, I guess that's how we can close out the show.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
That's all I
for
got.
joining.
I think we're done talking about cults and stuff for now.
We really went everywhere. We went TV, we went games, we went books. We really covered cults, campuses.
Campuses.
Jerica was saying
I said that earlier. Is it campuses?
Alrighty, y'all. We'll see you next time on the Flippy Flop.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.